All right, everybody, welcome back to the Realness Radio podcast. I'm here with my boy Shrek, and what did we talk about this week, man?
So this week, we get into a little bit of interesting conversation about space. We talk about what's going on up in there.
Because science.
Up out there, science, fungi, and Stimies.
Stimmies. Them Stimmies.
Hit. So stay tuned after the intro, y'all.
I'm for real. I'm for real.
Realer than real.
You're now tuned into the Realness Radio podcast.
I got you stuck off the realness.
Realness.
Y'all feel me? Y'all feel. Y'all definitely feel.
All right, we're live. What's going down this week, man? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing?
Doing well. You said a little earlier you were spending that Stimmy cash.
Yeah, dude, I spent far too much money the last couple days, but it was for a good cause, getting the kids ready to go back to school. They're excited about that, so we had to get them fitted up. You remember first days of school, laying your uniform out for the next day,
getting laced.
Yeah, getting laced up. So.
That was the most important day, man.
Mm-hmm.
That was the most important day. You had to have your outfit laid out. You had to know what you was gonna get. Yeah, I mean, it was a process. It was a thing.
Yeah,
it was an event.
It was
a
fun.
whole event. You know what I mean? Yep. Is that all you bought with your Stimmy, or was?
Yeah,
did you
actually,
guys do something fun for yourself?
We did. So, we did put some money away. I paid off some credit card debt, which has been a long time coming. I've been paying off credit card debt for about the last 7 years, and it's finally gone. So that feels really good.
Nice.
And then, me and the lady YOLO'd a little California trip next month. So we're gonna be taking 3 or 4 days up there.
Oh, that's kick ass, dude.
Yeah.
That is kick ass. I, on the other hand, have not got a stimulus check.
You were a little bit late on the last one, though, weren't you?
I didn't get the last one either.
So what's the prospects looking like now? Have you checked in on it? Are you gonna receive one?
I don't know. I assume that I'm not because I'm black. I don't know if that's why, but I haven't got mine. So the second stimulus check,
mm-hmm.
I had to claim it on my taxes.
Okay.
So I had to put that shit on my taxes, do that whole rigmarole. This time around, I think they don't know what to do. You know what I mean? Like they don't. I ended up paying a lot of money off
mm-hmm.
that I owed the IRS. So
Yeah.
I feel like they're confused on whether I owe them a little bit or I owe them nothing.
Right.
And what they should pay me. So I have no idea.
Well, dude, I hope you get one.
Me too.
I feel for people who aren't receiving them, especially for people who are like, they're paying like child support and stuff for their
Right.
kids, and like they're not receiving it because they owe
Right.
child support, so they're just taking it away. It's like, how is that a stimulus to anybody? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, I mean, that's also some of the problem with the stimulus check is that it seems like some people are getting it and some people are not,
Mm-hmm.
So in my case, I could pay off some debt. I can do some other shit
right.
that I'd like to do, but I have to have that stimmy to do so.
Exactly.
So I think it's kind of interesting that some people aren't getting it.
Right.
And some people are. I don't know how they're going to do that. I don't know how they're going to
I
square
wonder
that
if it
circle
has
this time.
anything to do with like the consistency of how we like pay our taxes regularly each year. Whether, you know what I'm saying? Like whether we owe, I mean, because it just seems like the people who aren't receiving it, at least all the people I know who aren't receiving it, are probably in the most need of it,
Right.
which is unfortunate. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I feel like America, that's the way that we tend to do it.
Right.
Countries are weird about the way that they do things. You know what I mean? And I'm going to point out one that I thought was interesting that I read.
Mm-hmm.
Japan has appointed a minister of loneliness.
I think I've heard of this.
Did you know that was a thing?
Yeah, actually, our friend Kate has talked about this, like just offhand comments, and I never knew what she was talking about until you just said it right now. But apparently, it's a real thing.
Yeah, a minister of loneliness. I didn't know that was like. Is that a big job, or do you get a castle, or
Is it like
did you get a good office?
Does he give you like a hug? Like you go and see him,
is
and you
is
guys
that how
just
it goes
chill?
down? So like you're like, hey man, I'm really sad, and he just comes. He's like, come here,
Yeah,
bring it in here,
come here.
bring it in.
He
here.
just shows up to your house with like pizza and like movies and stuff.
He's got a smile on his face all the time.
Yeah,
But like, who's the minister if that dude gets sad? Doesn't that dude need somebody? Maybe he's never alone.
yeah.
Maybe that's the thing. He
He's
could
got to
never
pass
be
a
lonely.
non-loneliness test.
Exam?
Yeah, an
Is
exam.
there a non-lonely
Yeah.
exam? I don't know how you would rate someone's non-loneliness. Do you live by yourself? Yeah.
He just
But
has
you're
a
like-
group of people that wander around with him.
You're like, I kind of like living by myself. I don't know if I'd call it lonely.
Yeah.
And he's like,
So does that article kind of describe what he does, or is it?
It was a snippet of something I had screenshotted.
Yeah.
I didn't really get too in deep with it. It says the role aims to reduce loneliness and social isolation among Japanese residents in the countries dealing with the rising, dealing with the rising suicide rate.
Oh, I got you.
So niggas be dying in Japan. So they was like, yo, we're going to hire a clown and he's going to be the minister of loneliness. So maybe he just like has parades all the time and he goes down the street and he's like all happy.
Well,
Maybe he's like our version of a clown.
Yeah. From what I read, Japan's a pretty crazy place because like
They're dope.
Japan's a place that I've always wanted to visit. I
It's
know
one
it's
of
a
my
place
favorite
that
countries.
you want to visit as well. But you know, sometimes when I read like comments on Japan and stuff like that, they're like, it's a very crazy, like you don't want to live in Japan just because of the way the country is run and the certain things about it.
They have an interesting system. I do like their culture.
I do too. I
Their
love
governmental structures probably leaves things to be desired.
it. Yeah. Is it kind of I don't know, is it kind of like a communist country in a sense, or
It
is
used
it?
to be. It's a democratic country.
It's a democratic.
It's a
Okay.
democratic country
Yeah.
now. They're very close allies now, so they've come a long way. I mean, where they're like our little stepbrother at this point.
Right.
But you know, I think it's how they structure their society and themselves that would probably be the biggest difference for us as Americans to do and to live their lifestyle, because they live by different principles and they treat each other in a different way.
Right.
So for us loudmouth Americans to go over there, it'd probably be pretty hard for us to.
Yeah, there's a lot of honor and pride in family life and stuff like
Bushido.
that. Yeah, Bushido. Yeah.
And that is a idealism and a way that they live. And Bushido's not something that Americans do.
No, we're kind of like
we're
the opposite of that.
Thank you. Took the words out of my mouth. We're like the exact opposite. So I don't know if it's a country that all Americans would be really like, you know, I think I could fit in over there. It'd be like,
Yeah.
not so much.
Yeah,
Not
it's
so
probably
much.
a totally different world for sure.
But it's one of my favorites. It's a country that
I think the
I
aesthetic
have a lot of
is
questions about, and I really, really want to go.
Yeah, exactly. I think the aesthetic is beautiful there, like just the architecture, the buildings, the minimalistic, you know, like
gorgeous country.
things like that. Also the culture, the history of it, like samurai culture and all that stuff is pretty amazing. So
Gorgeous country. I can't say enough about that part. You know what I mean? Like, man, that part.
Mr. Miyagi, dude.
I don't know if he was Japanese, was he?
I think he was Japanese.
I don't know. We might have to look that one up.
Yeah.
I saw this other thing that I thought was pretty cool. I didn't know they did this. In San Francisco, they are moving a 2-story Victorian style house that is like, I don't know, 139 years old. And they're moving that shit down the street, dude. Like
they're picking it up,
like
and
they
moving
picked it up, put it on some semis, and drove this bitch down the street. And they topped out a speed of 1 mile an hour.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine you go very fast with a house on the road.
Yeah, at 139 years old. I just didn't know, like, because we don't live in a city that does that. You know what I mean? Or at least too often, or I've never seen it the way that we manufacture homes in Arizona, that it's not like, hey, you could just pick this bitch up and move it. You know what I mean? When you hear about that, like back east or in the Midwest or places like that.
I wonder if it's because it's like a purely like wooden structure, but not like wood framed houses like we see out here, but like actual like oak. Maybe hopefully it's sturdy enough, because that'd be the thing, is like, how do you just keep that thing balanced, and how is it not going to be just
clearly it's super sturdy because it's been 139 years around. So
the first mobile home.
I just think that it's interesting that the way they didn't build them stuck to the foundation, I believe, at that time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
So they would have been able to move around, or it depends on what cities you're in, because there was a point, and you'll have to look this up, it's an interesting story, but there was a point where they had to lift the entire city of Chicago up. And it was like in the 1920s, 1930s or something, because it's all built on like off the lake and shit, and it's all right there.
Okay, yeah.
It's at some point erodes from the lake and the water, you know what I mean, and can fall into the lake. So they had to move it. They had to literally jack up the city.
That's pretty crazy.
To put it on a new stilts or foundation or whatever. And then that's the foundation that Chicago is now on.
Yeah, that's wild. I think even Mexico City is like that. I think Mexico City was built on a lake, but they like covered in the lake with sand, built a foundation, and then built on top of that. But I don't know, it just makes you wonder how like sturdy that actually is over time, you know, with erosion and things like that. It's pretty interesting.
I guess I'm more interested in how the hell do you restore or move something? How do we figure out how to do something with that? You know what I mean? Because clearly it'll stand the test of time. But it's like, okay, we want this 130-year-old house to stay, but we got to move it 6 blocks to somewhere where it's going to be more convenient. How the fuck do we do that? Yeah. That is crazy to me.
I'm assuming they brace the frame somehow. And then either crane it up.
I think they jack it.
Or you're thinking they're jacking it
from
the bottom.
They jack it from the foundation.
Yeah.
Because I don't think
that would make sense too. Yeah.
When I've seen them do some of that, I think they jack it and then move it.
They just tied a bunch of balloons to it and then.
Yep. Up.
Yeah.
They had a little old man. He was just chilling.
Yeah. He didn't want to leave. So they're like, all right, buddy.
There was like a little kid right there. And he was like, hey, bro. And the dude was like, yo, I got cookies. And he was like, tie. He was like, you want to learn how to tie some ropes? And he's like, cool. And he's like, what are we doing? He's like, putting balloons to my house.
Yeah.
I want to keep my house. The government is trying to take me out. Gentrification is in San Francisco.
Yeah.
So I thought that was an interesting story.
That is a great story.
It is a great story.
It just makes you think, you know?
Yeah, it's a thinker. So what we're going to do right quick is we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. What up, y'all? Let me tell you about another product I really like. This new thing I just found called Tappy. If you're an artist, if you're a business person, if you're anybody with anything that you want to share with people, maybe you're a designer, get this. It's a new business card. It's electronic, no paper, no thousands of cards in your pocket, just one. Anytime anybody asks, hey, what do you do, man? Pull it out, tap it on their phone. All the information's right there. Tappy. Go to our website at therealnessradiopodcast.com. Go all the way to the bottom and look at Tappy. Press get one, and you can order yours right now. Trust me, it's something you're interested in. Tappy. And we're back. It's just that quick.
Wow, that was a quick break.
Yeah, it was immaculately quick. It was magnificent, if you will.
Hey, so you're a space guy, right?
I'm a nerd. Yes, I am.
I'm somewhat of a space guy myself, but what do you think about this new space hotel that's supposed to be launching by, I think it's 2027 or something like that? Are you gonna rent a room in the space hotel?
You know, my scientific nerd brain goes, yeah, boy. Yeah, boy, we finna get all them
Mm-hmm.
space hotels. We finna fly up there, do it up in the Cadillac of fucking spaceships, and we
Mm-hmm.
finna do it up, big boy.
Mm-hmm.
No, nah, I ain't finna go up there.
No,
Like,
I
hell
didn't think
nah,
so. You
dog.
do, like,
Hell
I don't think
nah.
I could get you to go camping, let alone go
Oh,
up to
I've been
space.
camping. I did a lot of camping as a kid. I
Oh, I
went
know
out
you did.
camping.
River rafting.
Yeah, I did a lot of outdoor shit, but you ain't finna I'm not finna be the first nigga in space, bro.
No.
Like that. Not like that.
I think I always thought like if I was like Make-A-Wish Foundation, like if I was gonna die, I think my wish would be to go to space, like launch me up in that bitch. I want to see the Earth.
I feel like you
suspending.
too old for Make-A-Wish, dog.
No, I mean, but if I had like cancer or some shit, you know, what I'm saying?
They
Hypothetical.
Like, this nigga's old. We ain't giving him shit.
Yeah,
Said Ronald McDonald could come by, little boy, but that's all we got for you.
it's kind of like, you know, like
If
would you have sex with your stepsister? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, well,
it's one of those hypotheticals.
It's one of those hypotheticals where they made a whole internet section about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Having sex with your stepsister.
Yeah.
Good thing I'm an only child, guys. It's a safe conversation for me.
Yeah. But no.
Yeah, the space
I
thing.
would love it.
I would be interested in it if it was something that we did more often. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm starting to hear more and more things about this program. Like, I don't know if they're talking about really building this thing. They're gonna build it. I don't think they're gonna build it out at Cape Canaveral, but they're gonna like build it out somewhere and then launch it up in pieces and then build the rest of it in space. You know what I mean? And it'll be a fully furnished space hotel, bro. Yeah. Which I think is crazy. So it'll have a bowling alley. It's gonna have movie theaters and park, and you can have a crib. It's gonna be like some real life, Star Trek shit. Like if you're really into Star Trek and the idea of traveling through the galaxy and just unknown things, like you'll be in a space station, traveling around the Earth at a speed that we can't even think of, but you'll be chilling in a hotel.
That's wild. That's really
it's like
wild.
Space Vegas, dude.
It seems like a very a pretty hefty feat to accomplish in 6 years, but
that's the only thing that sounds concerning about the project. Is it seems like I don't think this is gonna happen as quickly as they think it does, or it's gonna be like a shitty project.
Because I've even heard that the International Space Station needs to be renovated. Like it's just been up there in space, chilling for a long time, and it probably needs some new equipment. You know?
Yeah, it's gonna be. You know what I mean? This definitely would have to be. I say that project definitely is gonna need the 10 years or more to, you know what I mean, really get that project going. Because this is the thing. We have the ability to put man in space right now, but we still don't have the ability to put them in space to the luxury that this hotel giant donut is offering. You know what I mean? So full amenities, you know what I mean? Having a theater, having a this, having a that, and having parks and different things all up in space. Bro, have you seen the way they have to pee and shit in space? We're still a little bit away from having that ability where they could have a luxury hotel in space. Maybe they know something we don't.
Yeah.
But
I'm kind of curious as to like the backup plans that they got for like emergency situations, because you're fucked in space, dude. Like,
oh, you're super fucked.
Like, okay, oxygen's leaking out the ship, and like, what do we do now? You know what I'm saying? Do we have like escape pods and space balls where they're just shooting off the motherfucker and like going back to Earth? You know, that's all like some scary shit. And to be the first ones to test it, that you'll be a brave soul. I'll tell you that.
Oh shit, fuck that. I know. That's gonna be. Listen up, folks. This is going to be all y'all white folks can do that shit. Okay, I'm going to go on the 1,000 millionth trip. I'll be on that trip, bro. I'm not going on the first fucking trip, bro. Mm-hmm. Not up in that bullshit. But, I mean, it sounds crazy. Like, I'm such a space nerd that's, like, the ultimate thing. You know what I mean? Dude. So I can kind of get with what you're saying. But, like, okay, we're in our 30s right now. If this shit was like, okay, I'm 80. You're like, hey, Grandpa, Grandpa Shad, we want to take you to space. Like, yo, bro, that'd be kind of cool. You'd be able to
Hotel
go
on the moon.
Yeah, hotel on the moon. Like, all that sounds real cool, but it does come with that question of like, what happens? Okay, space station's been up and running, it's doing good, but now you have to worry about debris flying around. It's just in its trajectory.
Yeah.
So, have they thought of what they're gonna do when space debris is just coming at them?
Flying at 20,000 miles per hour and just
you know what I
rips
mean?
through the cockpit.
Exactly.
You know, like,
Rips through people's cabins, rips through the walkway or the elevators. Like, do they know enough of the science to be like, okay, that's less likely to happen because of blah, blah, blah. Are they ready for that? Like, what is the deal? Because there's going to be a lot of like real serious shit to take in account. Like, okay, you're going to take a bunch of the world's richest people up there. How are they going to like shit and piss? You know what I mean? I mean, it's such a simple thing, right? But
no, you're
like,
right.
The way that you do it in space right now is complicated.
Yeah.
Sleeping in space and shit right now, just normal activities, brushing your teeth and rinsing out your mouth.
Yeah, the fluids.
It's complicated right now. So like, imagine the luxury of just being in a cabin like we're in right now, like artificial gravity, blah, 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 blah. And then what is the criteria for the people who go up there, right? Because you can't just have a bunch of
you're
like...
probably going to need like a physical check just to go to space.
Just to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's either going to be enough money. You're not going to just have a bunch of like middle American fat asses up there because a bunch of us ain't going to make it. You know what I mean? One, you got to blast off to get up there. And then you have a difference in your gravity, different the way you need to eat, different. Like, I mean, it'll be cool, but I think we're still a good minute away from...
The logistics are very...
right.
Yeah, it's very advanced for sure.
We're still a good minute away from science fiction.
Yeah.
Like, we can imagine it, and I think of it all the time, you know, because I'm a Star Trek fan.
Yeah.
I'm an everything fan, but I'm a Star Trek fan, and you think about walking down the decks, you know what I mean? And I'm talking to you. We're doing the podcast with a big-ass window, and we're like, outside is the fucking Earth, and check us out on the 1 millionth episode. You know what I mean? Like, the idea of it sounds fucking incredible.
It does. And it seems like we're really, really pushing towards that. Like, that's going to definitely be a thing before we pass from this earth. Hopefully we live to be long, you know, old when we die. But we're going to see some crazy things. We are going to see, our generation in particular, I think has already seen a lot. We've been through 5 decades and we're only 30.
Yeah.
And we've seen a lot of crazy things. But I was even looking up this article with Paul Stamets. Do you know Paul Stamets?
Sounds familiar.
So he's like a real well-known mycologist, self-taught mycologist. Basically knows everything there is to know about mushrooms. And he's working with NASA, and they're working with him to see what kind of fungi can actually... because fungi in general just breaks down like plant material, trees. You know, that's where you get your mushrooms. They break down materials, and then it kind of feeds the ground with nutrients, and new plants grow. So they're seeing how fungi might work with space material like asteroids and you know, the moon, and how it interacts, breaks down those microbiomes, and how they can use that to create soil and plant and cultivate on the moon or on Mars or wherever. So I thought that was pretty interesting as well.
In space.
Yeah, but it's kind of crazy that NASA's investing in mycology because
what have they said, or what do we have so far?
So
is it just all theory talk right now?
So right now the article is basically just saying that the program has been funded, but they haven't actually begun doing any research or anything like that. Yeah,
interesting.
But very cool stuff. Yeah,
you're gonna have to follow up on that one because I want to know a little bit more about that one. That was we found a lot of really interesting things about fungi in mycology in the last like 10 to 15 years. You know what I mean? So really interesting stuff. To the point of like, do plants talk to each other? Do things communicate through these type of fungi?
And they do through the mycelium. Yeah.
That's right. So we have a whole network of information going through these fungi. So there's a lot of questions. So let me know. Yeah, I'm curious on that one.
Yeah, because I think they're even finding fungi that breaks down plastic, and that'd be huge.
Well, that would actually be revolutionary if we could really get that in abundance. Especially because of the kind of world we live in and the amount of plastics that we consume, that would be fucking
even just in our
incredible.
industry, in the cannabis industry, so much plastic and one-time use plastic, you know what I'm saying, like just constantly all these pre-roll canisters and all these, you know, eighth jars and all these, you know, it's just, it seems very wasteful, you know what I'm saying?
Super wasteful.
It is very wasteful. Yeah, you're right.
So scientists, hook us up with this plastic eating fungi, and we'll get to recycling out this bitch.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. So we're getting here to the end of the episode. You know what's gonna happen now, guys. We got some new music. So the new music is gonna be playing. Shouts out to my boys for handling that. And you can find me at Superior Shrek. You know what time it is over there. All the Laughter on IG. And my boy.
Yep, prolific_Pappy. And I also want to throw out a shout out to you boys for the music. It's fire. And I can't wait for y'all to hear it. So.
And another big shout out to the homie Sean for the art. Y'all are starting to see the cartoons. Sean was the one who did it all. Appreciate you, boy.
Sean.
You the man for that one. And check it out. We'll see you later, y'all.
Yeah, we out.